Thank you for taking this moment to breathe and to listen to what can change your life forever. My name is Ragnar Zinikas, and I'm the founder of Starpreneur TV, How to Dominate the Decade talk show, World Women Conference and Awards, the creator of Coral Desk, the coach of the Changemakers, and the co-author of the book From Zero to Success. My mission is to empower through education, and thank you very much for taking the time today and investing in your personal growth by doing so. Today, I have an honor to talk Marisa Di Muro. And who is Marisa? Multi-award winner, Italian soprano, singer, songwriter, actress, and her biography is absolutely amazing. But let's see what Marisa has to say about herself. So, Marisa, tell us your story. Who is Marisa?
Hello everyone watching us this moment and after today. First of all, congratulations on this show, on these meetings, and thank you so much for pronouncing spot on my name, which is great. My name is Marisa Di Muro, and I'm originally from Italy, from south of Italy, very small village called Senerchia. In the hills or the mountains of southern Italy. I was brought up on a farm and not really much music happening there. I was really maybe expected to grow up and get married and learn and take after what my parents had taught me. But I had a different passion, which was singing. And I came to live in this country in UK just at the age of 14. Unfortunately for me, because we had a terrible earthquake and a large part of my village was destroyed and my mother died in this earthquake. So I came to UK to live with my sister's family, and I had to learn English. And had to overcome, I was like 14 years behind everyone. And so I was overwhelmed by the learning of the language. But still I had this passion of wanting to sing. And after a few years, having started singing at the Kent Music School in Kent, I decided to go back to Italy. But at this time I went back to Tuscany, and I trained in bel canto singing, which is opera singing, the true opera singing, which is like beautiful singing, which is the meaning of bel canto singing, at the Music Conservatoire in Florence. That's where I gained my degree. And then this took 5 years, but even though I was there for 6 years, and then I returned back to England and carried on my studies. I did workshops, auditions, and that's when I began to do concerts to perfect my skills as a singer, and go on to several auditions, concerts in theatres. And I've been fortunate enough to have sung at Sadler's Wells Theatre in London as a soprano soloist. Equally, part of the training at the Music Conservatoire, you also learn obviously about history of music, but you also learn the other side, which is the acting. And that allowed me to audition and be in as an actress at the Royal Opera House, Covent Garden in London, in the same production with Placido Domingo, with the production by Franco Zeffirelli. So I've been fortunate enough to have had those very high experienced, high end, as well as other performances. And that is pretty much me to do with my singing. And then having also evolved as a singer-songwriter, and we will maybe explore a bit more and tell your audience about it.
Yes. I'm pretty sure everybody understood your passion, but what would you say today? What is your true calling, in a sense? What would you say? What is your purpose in life?
My purpose in life is very much important to first of all, we mustn't be afraid to experience life, because besides being a creative person, I am also a person who has a real life. I have a family. So I have my duties to my family, to my children. Not be afraid to learn and to grow, and to help them, to guide them along whichever road they want to go. So besides being the creative person, there's also, I am lucky enough to have this other part of life that I'm able to share and to experience, not just the person who travels and performs here and there and everywhere. I like to say I have a real life.
That's a great answer.
Full on life.
So we all are unique in our own way, but especially when it comes to, for example, you are in a very unique niche, which is singing in a niche which is, I would say, if you see the number of people in the world that are doing it, I'm pretty sure that even you know each other. What would you say, what makes you in that niche special, and also what makes you distinguish you in private life and business? I would say I'm pretty sure we can say it, the singing, but what you say that your uniqueness is this?
You are completely right. That is a very particular niche, and is very narrow, and sometimes it's thought of, it's only reserved for the few. At this time, it's brilliant that they are promoting a lot of opera, a lot of classical music. We are seeing more streamed live. Unfortunately, there wasn't so much enough of that being done before. If they have the courage to continue, it's brilliant. However, nothing beats a live performance, because the power of actually hearing a live orchestra, hearing live singers, the vibrations, doesn't beat that. So hopefully at this time, this will encourage more people who perhaps would not have gone to a classical concert, would not have gone to opera, and also equally also people from all ages. Because you don't want to go to an opera theatre and you just see people who are middle-aged and quite old. Either that or the students. We want to see younger audience. So that is very important to expand. So it is a niche market. Fortunately and unfortunately for me, it's very specific, but that is my passion. My passion then is, if it's important, if you are able to communicate feelings with this niche project, this niche market, then you can reach out to any type of audience. Because I have sung and I've been appreciated by very young children, even 3 years old. And people say, I would have never, you've really won me over. I would never thought of hearing opera. I have sung on catwalks, in fashion shows, in festivals amongst the woods, like bluebells festivals, and beautiful settings. So perhaps they didn't expect to hear somebody singing live opera. And they said, I was surprised to hear that. You really won me over. So even though being the niche, not to be afraid to expand and reach out to a variety of different audience. For me, I'm fortunate that the bel canto singing, the beautiful singing, allows me to be as true and as honest with the production of my voice and what I'm transmitting, the emotions and the feelings. And luckily for me, I'm able to capture people's hearts. And that is what is most important to be able to do, not just to sing pretty notes.
Would you today say that this niche is more dominant by men or by women, or what do you see there? What have you really needed to overcome to be in who you are today and really achieve that much of all of the awards which I saw, and there's a lineup of them. Like, what did it really take you to get where you are today?
I think obviously, like everything, in everything that you do, is the amount of tenacity, determination that you have, and belief in yourself, because nobody is ever going to believe in you unless you believe in yourself. For myself, being a female singer, my voice is that of a soprano. There is a soprano, mezzo soprano, contralto for female. Now, there are so many sopranos for females. I mean, one teacher said you just have to lift a stone and you find a soprano. So many, too many. Very difficult to get into the business as a soprano. For male voices, it's much easier. If you're a tenor, whether you're ready or not ready, they will pay you, they'll beg you to go and sing in an opera. Baritone equally, male voices. But with sopranos, there are just too many of us. So it's much harder. So you really have to stand your grounds there and create your uniqueness of even within that, with your own niche and your own audience. And with me, for example, I've expanded also into singing songwriting, and which allows me even more as a person to be more creative, which in my case, it suits me. Because if you are a singer, you are an interpreter of other people's works. For me, it's never been enough to be an interpreter, because I wanted to create. So as well as being an interpreter, I also want to be a singer-songwriter.
So what would you say today? We are going through times that, as we say, we have never seen before. And how has this health pandemic, the health crisis that we all go through today, really affected you as a creative talent, the way that you work, the way that you write the songs, the way, like, what have been the challenges and the opportunities in times like this for you?
I think I always, maybe I go back a little bit to the earthquake. I see it more almost like something tragic, something terrible has happened. Like now, when we were in lockdown, we didn't know what was going to happen, when we were going to come out, we'll be able to go and do shopping, we'll be able to get out, you know, all these uncertainties. So you can sit in your home being afraid and wondering what's going to happen to me, etc., etc. Or you can just say, okay, what can I do? What can I do about this situation? How can I reverse things? And in my case, I have embraced this, and I've set up my own home recording studio. So I started doing some research about microphones, about interfaces, in connecting, downloading software, things which I never thought I would have had to do. But now I am able to remotely record my vocals. So even with singing songwriting, I can work with a producer outside of my home. I can send them the tracks I want to do and send them some idea about a new song, and I can record at home. And I've already done that. I've done a project for a film documentary where they required me to sing a cappella. So I sang a piece at a cappella, which they wanted to add and chop and cut, however they want to put it in. So it can work. Again, home recording studio, I'm using my singing voice to record. And as well, I'm expanding into my speaking voice. I've been asked to do narrate over a meditation video or some voiceover work. So it allows me to look at different opportunity. And luckily for me, I can expand in that. But I think whichever our businesses is to look at perspective things in a different way and not desperately wanting to do things as they were done before. So leave that aside, how things were done before. What can I do with this situation now? and we are seeing all these live streaming, all these Zoom and interviews. Now I would have had to go maybe to a radio station for my interview, or TV station, or somewhere else where you would be, and we sit next to one another. But no, we're able to do this from our own home, and I'm able to continue my work, songwriting, contacting producers, etc., etc. Work on my business, expand, connect with other people. So there's so much that one can do, but anything but sitting back and wait for it to go back as it was. There is no need for that. This is a time to grow and to go forward.
So you decided, instead of seeing it as a challenge, seeing as an opportunity for you to grow yourself and grow your business. Beautiful. What does your neighbor say about you having the office at home? I'm pretty sure that your voice is so powerful.
Yes.
Are your neighbors also?
One of my neighbors, she's actually very good where we live right now. I had problems with another neighbor. That's why we had to move. That's what happens, you know. Sometimes you have people complaining, and oh, you have all that to live with. But the neighbor at the moment, I think sometimes if I'm practicing quite late at night, she tends to turn to her TV even higher. I mean, I live in a semi-detached, so I'm hearing more of the TV. So I get the sign, maybe she can hear me too much. But that's if it's quite, you know, late, like after 9 o'clock in the evening. And if I run out of time during the day, just a little bit. So like I'm fighting with her TV.
Wow.
But
well,
it's
very
okay.
practical. Very practical. Let's say that those are again things which we might not think before, but we come across with those things, no?
That's right, because I have to practice every day. I have to do my skills. So it's important that I live somewhere that I can exercise, and I can do that. Just like an athlete has to go out on the track or be able to run. If he's not able to run, you know, there's only so much he can do on the spot or in one room in his house. He has to train. If you don't train, you know, you don't have your muscle, and then you can't deliver. How are you gonna do a race? And to be able to sing the pieces that I need to sing, it's almost like running a marathon or doing a sprinting, some of them. So you have to keep exercising all the time.
Yeah. You mentioned your family, you mentioned having the balance and having the real life, as you said. What have you seen now from that arena in your home? What is different? What is happening? Are you in a new roles which you were not doing before, like homeschooling, home care, all of that? What can you comment on that side?
Sure. Well, I think the homeschooling hits as a shock to any parent, and I really don't know how everyone else copes, but from what I'm hearing, is not welcomed, because we are not trained to teach the curriculum exactly how they teach it. So it's very difficult for us, because we already have our own work to deal with at home. And then on top of that, keeping an eye on the children with all this homeschooling, links of this and links of that, and downloading this. It's really a nightmare. And I mean, some have probably given up, but like my daughter, my oldest daughter, she is preparing for her GCSEs here in UK for next year. So luckily her school is doing some tuition online where she can hear the teachers. Not so much audio, because there's all these questions about GDPR and all these security sort of systems that they can't see one another, the kids, are going through the internet. But it's really, it's quite very scary for parents, because it's giving them the responsibility of the school, as well as having to deal with work that they already have at home, or some don't have that work because their work has stopped, so having, you know, sort out finances and etc. So it's a lot to ask from them, and I'm actually surprised why the schools that haven't set up a way that rather than being in the classroom, for example, the teacher would be standing in front of them on the screen and doing the lessons while they're at home, just like they would do like a university, you know, physically really see the teacher. I think that's missing the contact. Rather than just sending out lessons and homework to do, and it's quite cold, even the feedback, or if you want to ask a question there and then. So it's uncertain times for both the parents and the kids as well, that they've had to adapt to this way. Some are coping, some are not. And obviously they will go back. Hopefully they'll go back in September. I'm hoping if everything goes well, because they need to go back. I mean, poor parents working at home and having to deal with all this homework is really a nightmare.
Yes, I agree, and definitely a challenge for everybody. Even had the chance to talk with some of the teachers, and they said we're not prepared for that either. And especially it depends on what grade teacher you are. For example, first grade teacher, where you really need to be sort of hands-on, showing kids how to read and write. It's how do you really teach a first grader via Zoom, for example, which was done in the country where I live now, and they said, well, we need to just cope and see and take the maximum what we can. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. It means that next year we just need to be more focused and taking that information in consideration. But yes, and I think more than anything else, the function and regarding the school is actually the interaction, the connection, the humanity about it. Otherwise, I think everything could be online. And I think technically speaking, soon I don't think there will be any problem.
I mean, they miss their friends. They can't, you know, socialize. They really miss their friends. I mean, my two daughters have only started recently to meet up with their friends with a bit of distance, because at the beginning they just didn't want to go out. Of, oh my God, is it going to be like this? Are they going to be so scared to go out? But now, you know, they're meeting up with their friends because they need that. They're growing, and they need to have to see other people their age. And even younger ones who maybe just started in the first year of school, they missed interaction, to be around these other 20, 30 kids or running around in the playground, pushing one another and playing games. That is so important, and they're really missing out. It's not just the schooling, the learning, but also the social aspect of it.
We heard you were talking about different things that you now started to do while COVID hit, and finding the new ways of doing your business and expanding in areas which you were not maybe expanding before. But what would you say, what are the projects that you are focused now? Like what do you do on your daily basis?
Daily basis, well, I'm writing my book.
Congratulations.
So I said, what better way than to get this book done right now? And so that's a big project, because the book is about myself, and as I explained at the beginning, there are things which are quite painful to have to write in the book, and I hold myself back. I keep skipping some of the chapter, so I'll do that one afterwards. I'll skip on to this other chapter, but it all has to be done. Yeah, I've set myself a target to get this book done, and I'm sort of more or less there. Only a few more chapters to get on with, and so yeah, that's another way that I'm using well, not excuse, I'm using this period to say, this is what I need to do now, because in 2 months' time, I'm going to be doing something else, but this is what I need to get that now. So there's the book and all the other projects I said about recordings and teaching singing, expanding, and also teaching singing, not also to for people who want to learn singing, but also people who are speakers, teachers who want to improve their actual speaking voice and their projection. So I'm using my skills in all possible ways that I can.
Beautiful. This is very inspirational. I think a lot of maybe singers haven't even thought about that those ways. So I think you gave a lot of inspiration today. But what would you say? What will the future bring to Marisa personally and professionally?
The future for me, I always see the future very exciting, because if I can create, if I have the courage to create and to take risks. By taking risks is that I try different roads and different challenges, which means I dare to fail also, because sometimes things don't turn out the way that you want them to turn out. But you can only, if you try, and then you have tried it. And it's important in life to live life by learning, not to stop learning. So allowing myself to learn and to create new ventures, new collaborations with other artists. That is equally important, because that's the only way that I can learn to be a better artist myself. There is the tendency that classical music, classical singers, we think so highly of ourselves. I think, we know better, but we don't really. I mean, I want to learn from other artists, rappers, hip hop artists, and other styles of musicians, how they make music, what works for them. Because at the end of the day, we are all in the same business. If music communicates and reaches people, then it doesn't matter what it is. So it's to have an open mind, completely open mind, and be open to opportunities that come along. And in this particular time, let's look at the opportunities that are there for us, and let's grab them.
So you just put me a little interesting question in my mind. And what do you think what the future of the classical music will be?
I hope that they won't remain in the traditional way as they are all the time, because unfortunately, when these type of things happen, it's a huge loss. When people can't perform in a theater, doesn't mean there's no performance anymore. They need to find a different way of performing, different way of putting music across. If we look, for example, football, they don't have in the stadium, they play in the football, but they don't have the audience, yet we can hear it on the radio. And they put like a fake sound of the crowd shouting about and everything. And I said, why don't classical music do more of that? We need to be more daring, and because we're afraid we want to keep everything in the traditional. Everything is done in that traditional way, but we can't let it die for the sake of keeping in the traditional way and keep it for just a few. Dare to reach out for more, to expand more, to try different ways. And I think that's the way to survive. Otherwise, there will be huge losses, and only few theaters will survive. And there will be the very few who are at the very top, with the very top people, and a lot of singers who are equally good, who sing in other levels of theaters, amateurs, semi-amateurs, professionals, semi-professionals. There just won't be any chance for them to do anything. So more daring. Classical music has to reinvent themselves and create another platform. This is what I've always thought. But it takes a lot of courage, because we are trained to keep the tradition and to keep it that way. So I hope they are more daring.
Beautiful. I absolutely loved your answer, and I think every single person that is watching this also should actually go today, open some type of music platform and find something, because we tend to forget which is not in front of us. So I think when we start to put our attention to it, it will be, we might be even surprised, because there are a lot of absolutely incredible composers, and the music can really, really uplift us and bring us joy, you know. So that's a great idea, I think, today to try something which you're not trying maybe every day. I want to thank everybody that you have been watching. If you have any questions or if you have any comments, you can leave below this video. Once it premieres, we are going to keep eye on them, and we will answer all the questions. And the next question to Marisa is, what are your 3 recommendations how to dominate the decade?
3 recommendations. Okay, right. So I think my recommendations are applicable. I hope they're applicable to everybody, not just to creative people, people with business, or if you're just a parent. You know, everybody has a very important role in this world. I would say we need to live life to learn. Live in a way that we learn. So live to learn. That's the first one. Don't deny ourselves from learning. And the second one is don't shy away from taking risks, because risks is what allows us to grow as human beings. Let's not shy away as, oh, I'm not trying this, or I'm not trying that, it might not work, it might work, what if, but in all these questions, no, take risks. That's the second one. And the third one, I would say more needs to be done to invest in young people. Young people are the future. Give importance to them. Youth centers, there's not enough youth centers. I speak about my area where I live. I'm based in Kent, in UK. Invest in young people from the start, keeping them off the street and crime. Just youth centers, give them things to do, incentives, reward young people. Just like I've been given awards, so that reward young people for whatever they do, and not just if they achieve academically. Whatever they do, reward them and make them feel worthy of this world. So invest in young people. Those are the 3 things. Live to learn, don't shy away from risks, and invest in the youth.
Those are very, very applicable indeed, and very practical. And I think that every single one of us can actually take part of those and apply, whether to our own life or in the lives of our community. So thank you very much. If someone wants to contact you, if someone wants to follow you, how can they do so?
Sure. I have a website, which is www.marisadimuro.co.uk. Equally, they can listen to me on YouTube, Marisa Di Muro, and then all the others, which are LinkedIn, Facebook page, and Instagram and Twitter, and hopefully very soon on Amazon with my book.
Beautiful.
So plenty of places. So that from YouTube they'll get to hear what I sound like, and then the book it will tell them even more who is the person behind the voice.
So what would be the final note that you want to end this interview? What you want people to remember or take from this this interview?
To take from this interview, I'd like to wish everyone a healthy life and happiness with their family and wherever they are in the world and with their surrounding, and not to be afraid during these times. it's okay. We have a lot. I can only say that because what I experienced personally with myself when I was 14 during an earthquake. Now this is this big transition time. I have a roof over my head. I have my family. We have food. We have electricity. We have Wi-Fi. We have Zoom. We have all these things. So there's so much that we have in this world. And then, you know, if you have your health, you know, we are super rich.
Thank you very much. Thank you for investing your time to come and speak to our community. Today, I hope that we were able to deliver you a message. And that message is that when you do the work, when you believe in yourself, everything is possible. Marisa's story is very inspiring. I absolutely loved all the way that she has found for herself in order to really use the time that we are going through for her personal growth and for the growth of her company or business, or however you call it. And more than anything else, also to see what type of value she, as a talented person, can share with other people, in a sense that not always we need to be stuck in one area which we have been operating before. And I think this is very valuable for all of us. We might be so comfortable where we are, and that's the main reason why we don't take the leap of faith and try something new. So our invitation today is to do that. And also, if you didn't take any notes, I invite you to go back to this video, have your notebook and have your pen ready, and write down all the great things what she has applied to her life, and also those things that you know deep inside that you should have done those things long time ago, and yet you haven't. So, but more importantly, you need to take action on those points. So become the hero of your life by taking action. And also you can become the hero of someone else's life. How? By sharing this video. Because we never know who needs that type of inspiration, motivation, and the golden nuggets which were shared in this interview today, and that can change their life forever. So be the hero of your own life and then someone else's life. I will see you in the next episode. Thank you for investing your time into your personal growth. Thank you for being with us today. And Marisa, thank you for joining us from London that late. So thank you very much. And I'm pretty sure soon, when your book is out, we're going to talk with you again.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. I really enjoyed it. Thank you.
Beautiful.